Dhiraj was chosen by his fellow students to address today's graduates. He will shortly receive his PhD in engineering, concentrating in material science. Mr. Catoor earned his SCM in engineering here at Brown after graduating in 2002 with a Bachelor of Technology in Metallurgical Engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology in Chennai. His doctoral research here looked at how lattice mismatch between neighboring crystals in a metal's microstructure can arrest failure, with the larger goal of engineering stronger and tougher alloys. He currently works in Providence as a training engineer at Dassault Systems Simula Corp, where he's preparing and teaching courses for engineers on structural and failure analysis. His address is titled Scholarship Within and Beyond the Ivory Tower. Dhiraj?
Thank you, Dean. Dear fellow graduates, family, and friends, it is an honor and a great pleasure to speak before you on such an august occasion. As the festivities of today bring one chapter of our lives to a fitting conclusion, we are all looking forward to the next with ambition and hope. And the brief respite between them is not only our chance to celebrate, but also an opportunity to pause and reflect. Whether we have chosen the ivory tower to become academics and educators, or to take our scholarship into the world as its leaders and experts, the relevance of scholarship takes center stage in our reflections. Being graduates of a highly regarded institution like Brown, perhaps we require no exposition of its merits. Nevertheless, we may have questioned the utility and wisdom in our academic pursuits. When the problems of the world grow in seriousness and urgency, this intellectual curiosity of ours may seem like a luxury that our societies today can barely afford. We are often urged to use our knowledge to cure the ills of the world, and chastised for sequestering ourselves within the ivory tower. Judging our intellectual pursuits by their utility is undoubtedly a noble sentiment. And those who are working towards such ends deserve the utmost respect. But the purpose of scholarship, whether it stays within the ivory tower or seeks to reach beyond it, does not end here. Nor does it begin here, and I dare say it goes much further. As the famous scientist Marie Curie once said, and I paraphrase, humanity needs its practical men and women, no doubt, but it also needs its dreamers and its artists, its thinkers and its philosophers, as it does its dutiful custodians of knowledge and of wisdom. And I say to you, my friends, we can be all that and more. Some of our pursuits may seem obscure or impractical for the moment, but who can predict what this knowledge we create can bring for tomorrow? We labor passionately to understand and to explore the world around us, not because we are carried away by our curiosity, but because we know that real progress comes from diligently accumulated knowledge. Ideas that begin as intellectual curiosities may take centuries to come to fruition, and only our ceaseless efforts to that end can make that possible. Who would have thought in the 17th century that electricity could be anything more than a parlor trick? It would have remained so had it not been for the centuries of careful and meticulous research into what appeared to be a quirky natural phenomenon. It is this spirit of inquiry and the love of knowledge and the joy and fulfillment in discovery and in invention that make us who we are and enable us to contribute to our societies. So let us take pride in our work and in our commitment to furthering the boundaries of knowledge. For our labor is the foundation upon which tomorrow's progress is built. Let us congratulate ourselves on a job so well done. It takes courage and strength to achieve what we have. And the diplomas we will soon receive are well deserved indeed. That is not to say that we are above criticism or that all is well in our little world. On the contrary, our knowledge has grown highly specialized, and we stand accused of knowing more and more about less and less. And our academic disciplines too often drift apart more than they cooperate. And this runs deeper than the humanities-sciences divide that we often criticize. I think we have all observed an indifference and even disrespect among scholars for intellectual pursuits that are far removed from their own. Perhaps we may have been guilty of it ourselves. But we live today in an interdependent world that is running haphazardly towards globalization, and in a world where knowledge and ideas take little time to travel and circulate. As these new forces dissolve the boundaries between nations and cultures, our societies are being transformed in ways that we cannot fully comprehend. And we, who seek to understand this new world and to address its problems, be they social, economic, or technological, must transcend the traditional boundaries set by culture and academic discipline. And that is the only way we can ensure our relevance. One might ask how this can be achieved. And to that I will point to our very own graduate school, which I think has all the necessary ingredients. There is more than authentic scholarship and multidisciplinary research here. As students from diverse cultures and academic backgrounds, we did not merely coexist here. We used this opportunity to interact and to learn from one another on professional as well as personal levels. When our numbers are small and our social life quite rich, it would have been a waste for us to segregate along the lines of nationality or of academic discipline, and we don't. Perhaps we should also thank the GCB and the house parties too for it. It is inevitable that we learn of what students in other disciplines are researching and how it is relevant, as we spend time with those passionate cultural ambassadors among us. All of this makes for a refreshingly rich and liberal environment, and I think it fosters a genuine sense of respect and humility in all of us, even as it exposes us to avenues of thought and points of view we did not previously know or respect. These are the ingredients of 21st century scholarship, one that discards cultural and academic chauvinism to embrace truly global perspectives. It is not a condescending tolerance or a passive acceptance that I speak of here, for they are both bankrupt intellectually, but of an open-mindedness to ideas, regardless of their origins, in the past or in the present, in the East or in the West, in the humanities or in the sciences. Whatever station in life we may occupy in the future, I hope we retain this inclusiveness and this generosity of spirit that we have valued here so much. For the world needs it more than ever. With the willingness to look beyond our own areas of expertise and cultural mindsets, I hope we become global citizens and scholars in the truest sense of the word. And in doing so, remind the world once again that its treasure lies in its scholars. With that thought, let me bid you all a fond farewell and give you all my best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhiraj. Teaching is an integral part of the education and preparation of our doctoral students. As young scholars and researchers preparing for careers in higher education, graduate students are well placed to communicate their excitement and expertise. Every year, the Graduate School presents the Presidential Award for Excellence in Teaching to a student who's demonstrated an extraordinary energy and skill in the classroom. These awards were conferred at a ceremony in the beginning of May. We want to recognize the recipient again today, although he's unable to be here and he is not graduating. But please join me briefly in congratulating the recipient of the 2008 award, Jason Zisk of the English Department.